gamers, if you like sneakily strategic card games, then you might want to check out Inheritors. In this game, you'll mainly be playing these influence cards out in front of you, always going up the next number, so a 2 will go on top of a 1 of each color, and instead of playing them in front of you, you might also discard them to do different actions. You can discard them to take another discard pile if there's something matching on top, take 2 cards from the deck, or you can discard more to gain some of these quests, which will give you points at the end of the game. 1 point if you just have it, but 2 points if you have certain cards in your hand at the end of the game. On your turn when playing those cards, you might also be able to claim an honor, which will have certain restrictions on it depending on what you played or what you might reveal from your hand. So if you were able to claim these are a point as well. In that influence deck, there are also these advocate cards, which have special abilities if you play them rather than discarding them, and they'll let you try and get cards out of other players' hands or just take certain cards out of the discard piles that maybe you wouldn't have been able to take otherwise. If you have certain values of influence cards in front of you in your turn as well, you will be able to claim one of the clans, which will give you either a one-time effect or some kind of small ongoing effect or some kind of adjustment to scoring, all in attempts to try and propel you a little bit ahead. So you do want to try and get these a little bit sooner rather than later so that you can maybe build a strategy around these. This game is a small box game, but I think that it's got a big game inside of the little box. It's just a card game, and when I say that, I just mean, you look at it and there's just a bunch of cards in the box, so you don't think too much of it. You think, okay, I'm just going to be picking up cards, playing them down, pretty simple. And the rules themselves are pretty simple. You are doing that where you're picking up cards, playing cards, and just kind of moving along with your turns. Turns are quick, and the game, like I said, is simple to explain, simple to get into, which I love. But there is a lot of deeper strategy there too. Getting all of those influence cards, you're going to start with a pretty big hand and you have to balance whether you want to discard a lot of things quickly to try and maybe get quests, or if you want to try and just play them in front of you to try and get points. Any turn that you can play an influence card in front of you, like I said, you're going to play a 1 and then a 2 and then a 3. You have to play up every turn of each color. You can have one set of each color in front of you, and effectively that is 1 point on your turn when you play one of those cards, because you're going to score for each of the highest numbers of each color, so you can get 1 point on a turn by playing a card. It doesn't feel like a big turn, but a point can be a big deal in this game because everything is kind of like 1 or 2 points, give or take here and there. So playing a card might feel like a small turn, but it is making big moves rather than just discarding cards and drawing cards and maybe getting no points that turn. I think that there's a lot of balance too in, okay, if that person took quest this turn, I maybe want to try and get a quest my turn or an honor so I can kind of match that score that they just got. And kind of similarly with the clan cards, these have those abilities on them that you might want to try and go for earlier rather than later, because you do want to be able to build a strategy around them and use them to the best of your ability to kind of get more points out of them or get additional actions, things like that, depending on what's out. There's also 2 of each of the colors, and you only use 1 for a game, so there is a little bit of variability in that, which I really like. Like I said, I think that this is kind of a big game in a little package, and I thought that it does what it sets out to do really, really well. I think that it might appear small at first glance, but it's got really good strategy in it, and it's got a lot of just fun variability, and it's a little bit different every game. You can try out all different strategies, and everything is super viable to getting you a win. You can check out my full thoughts on the vlog today, see if this one's for you.